This is a Louie Tee Network exclusive.
For those of you who don't know, I'm Louie Tee, host of the Louie Tee Network, and this is One Burning Question, a series that will take a look at all 32 teams in the National Football League and pose a question. Some teams will have micro questions where we look at the team in its current state and talk about what could potentially happen for them in this season. And some will take a macro approach where we kind of open up the lens a bit and take a step back and look at it from a wide view look and perspective and talk about where these franchises might be going in the future, not just this season, but moving forward. So I'll take a look at each and every single team, ask a burning question, answer that question, and move on to the next team. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy One Burning Question. Welcome to this In the Lab Room exclusive series, One Burning Question. I, of course, as always, am your host, Louie Tee. Thank you for joining me on this program. Today we're talking about the Oakland Raiders and what their one burning question is for the future. And this is a macro look at this football team. We're going to open up the perspective and the view a bit and talk about this team long term, because you gotta love what the Raiders are doing right now. Reggie McKenzie seemed like he was on the cusp of being fired in Oakland, but good thing cooler heads prevailed, and don't really know if he was ever that close and ever in the danger zone or not. But good job by Mr. Davis of not making a foolish decision and giving him time to operate. And Reggie McKenzie has had draft after draft for this Raiders organization to give them a chance to turn this thing around. And you feel like they're on the cusp of something big. They're bubbling. That win against Denver, that's huge. You can't quantify what that win means for that team and their psyche moving forward. Let's ask the one burning question for the Oakland Raiders. Can the Oakland Raiders successfully build around Derek Carr? The four Carr, Derek Carr. I look at this team and I say, damn it, you hit a home run with Derek Carr. You got it right. A lot of teams struck out looking for the guy and have struck out looking for the guy. You got yours in the second round, and I thought Derek Carr should have went in the first round. I had my reservations about it. I didn't know how he was going to react when the pressure was on him, and how was he going to respond to being Derek Carr, because again, David Carr, not successful in the league, and I think that ultimately scared the Texans away, which to me was dumb. I get it, I understand from a PR perspective, but this is about football, okay? This is about a guy being able to get it done or not. And you can't tell me you didn't look at Derek Carr and say he's got all the tools, quick release, strong arm, he's got the leadership qualities, he's a good guy off the field. You just felt like he was the perfect quarterback for a team looking for a franchise QB. The only thing you questioned was toughness. How was he going to stand in the pocket knowing he was going to take a shot and deliver the football? Was he going to be able to do that? Because he didn't do it well at Fresno. When he played against USC in that bowl game, he looked scared, he looked skittish. They put pressure on him, he panicked, he made bad decisions, he made bad throws. That was the one take that scared everybody half to death. But Reggie McKenzie wasn't fazed. They pulled the trigger on him in the second round. For me, that's the draft that's going to change this franchise's direction for years to come. You get Khalil Mack in the first round, and you get your franchise QB in the second round. And I think you've got both guys on both sides of the football that are going to change the game for you. So now the question begs, can you build around Derek Carr? Because this season, he's shown me, not only is he good enough to play in this league, but he's the guy in Oakland. He's ready to take that mantle and run with it. He's ready to have this Raiders team competing for something meaningful next season. They're 1 year away. They're not ready for it this year. They had opportunities. They squandered them. because they were a young football team and they weren't ready. But they're taking steps. That win against Denver, and I've already talked about it, I'm not going to talk about it again, but that was a huge win. You cannot put into words what that win meant for them, because the old Raiders, and that's why they're going through the process. And I talk about the process all the time as a Redskins fan with Kirk Cousins. The same thing is going on in Oakland because it's a process. It's not only a culture change, it's a mentality change, but it's the ability to go out and think it and then perform on the field. You think you can win, but then you go out and you execute and you do win on the field. That's the process. You see the Raiders going through the process and you see them taking steps. The old Raiders, they lose that game to Denver. They were down 12-0 at half. They had a chance to be down 20-0 at half. Instead, they held the Broncos to field goals and they battled back and they won that game in the second half. The old Raiders, after that debilitating loss 2 weeks ago versus Kansas City at home, when they had to have it, after that loss, Derek Carr throwing 3 interceptions. After that loss, the old Raiders shut down for the season. They're done. This Raiders team, they didn't quit. They didn't flinch. They went out and they showed you the moxie, the poise, and the process that it's going to take for this team to turn it around. But now I ask you, can you build around the 4 car? He's shown you time after time this season against the Ravens. He showed you against the Titans. He showed you in this ball game against Denver. He showed you that he can get it done. You give him the football, you give him an opportunity, and he can get it done. He's shown you that time after time after time this season. So now you need to get weapons for him. You got Amari Cooper. I like Amari Cooper. He's got to stop dropping the goddamn football. You got Michael Crabtree. You locked him up for a few more years. That's nice. I like him as a complimentary receiver. I think Seth Roberts is coming along. I love what you've done at the tight end position with Rivera and now Clyde Walford. I think you got a nice little combo there. Offensive line-wise, you've done some good things. At some point, you're going to have to replace your left tackle because he's getting up there in age. But he's doing a bang-up job right now. But at some point, that's a pretty young line, and I think you're going to have to invest some more resources into that line. I think you got some solid guys, but I think you may have to go out and get some more beef up front to protect your investment in Derek Carr. The running back position leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, I like Jameis Olawale. I don't love him. I like Marcel Reese. I don't love him. I don't even like Tywan Jones. I'm just going to be frank with you. I know he plays excellent special teams. I don't like Tywan Jones. He fumbles too much. Roy Halou Jr., you went and got him, you don't use him. So what's the point of having him? And Latavius Murray, the L train, he's okay. I like him. I don't love him. He's not a difference-making back. You got to go get one of those. He needs one of those. I don't know if you're going to spend the resources to go get one or not. But where you really need to spend your most resources on the defensive side of the football. And that's still building around Derek Carr because he shouldn't have to feel like he's got to score 30 points for this team to win every week. In the defense, they played some good ball against Denver in that ball game, but I think you could use some help at safety. You know, Charles Woodson, Uncle Charles, that guy, he's something else, man. That is, wow. I don't even know what to say about that. What he's done at this point in his career and the way he's still playing, that's phenomenal, man. That is insane. But you could use more corners. Nico Thorpe, I like Nico Thorpe. I don't love him. You don't like DJ Hayden, okay? In fact, some of you actually hate DJ Hayden, want him off the team. David Emerson, a guy who got off the street in like week 6, is your best corner. You need to fix that. So, there's some questions. You've done some great things at the linebacker position. I love Ben Heenan. I love Khalil Mack. I love what you're doing at that position. Nyron Ball has been great when healthy this season. You've got some stuff at linebacker. Malcolm Smith has come in and been a leader for you at linebacker. You need more pressure on the quarterback. Khalil Mack can't do it by himself. Build around the 4 car. Make this a complete football team. You need to bolster your special teams. At some point, you need to get a return man. I just told you, I don't like Tywan Jones, period. Nowhere on the field. You need a returns guy. You went out and got the punt returner off the street. His name escapes me right now, but he's fumbled twice already since coming to Oakland, and that was the reason he got released from Baltimore, and his name's Jeremy Ross. It came back to him. Jeremy Ross is a fumbler. You need a returns guy. You need a presence on special teams. Build around the 4 car. This kid's special, man. He showed me a lot this season. I didn't know he had it in him. He stood in there against the blitz. You don't want to blitz him anymore. He's making teams pay for that. He's staring down the gun barrel, making great decisions and throws. And when given time, he's picking teams apart. You got something here. Now it's time to build around it. So I'm going to ask this question one final time. Can the Oakland Raiders successfully build around Derek Carr? He's the centerpiece. This team is only going to go as far as the 4 car is going to take them. But the only way he's going to take them as far as they can go is if they build around him with the right pieces. And this is not only offensively, defensively, but on special teams as well. Reggie McKenzie doing an outstanding job. But he's got to do more to build around Derek Carr. It's going to do it for the Oakland Raiders in their one burning question. I, of course, am your host, Louie Tee. See you next time.